Hi, my name's Dale Kirk. I work for Talus Training and Consultancy, and I work within our coaching practice. I'm here with my colleague Nicola O'Donnell, and we're going to do a short demonstration of how you can incorporate the tgrow structure into your coaching conversations. Nicola works as a coach for us, so she's familiar with our coaching practices, but this is a very real situation for her. So thanks for your time, Nicola. What are we talking about?
I've got a little bit of a situation that I'm faced with at the minute where we're moving towards more a technology-based solution for our customers, and our customers are demanding much more innovative and creative ways of working with us, which is brilliant, which is great. However, we have two challenges that come with that. One is what technology will work for our varied customers across various industry sectors and various different technology bases, and what will work for the consultants, because each of them has different skill sets within the technology field. Yeah. Some more advanced and some not as advanced. So the two challenges are, how ready are our customers for this, and how ready are our people for this?
On a broad theme, you've got the area of technology and developing your people with two key challenging issues.
Yeah.
We've got about 15, maybe 20 minutes now, so what would be a good outcome within that time on that?
I think to think about, for me, how do I get the people in the consultant team ready for the technology changes that we're going to implement here at TT&C.
Okay. And
or some actions round about that.
Okay, brilliant, thanks. So, getting a list of actions about how you get your team, your people, ready for embracing and using that technology. I'm interpreting. Is that...
Yeah, that's spot on actually.
Okay.
Spot on.
Brilliant. So maybe just to check in, first of all, how ready and capable are they? If you were to give them a score, what kind of score would you give them?
It varies. There's 10 permanent people within that team in all at different stages. The willingness is definitely there, so willingness I'd give 10. Yeah. 10 out of 10. But I think I probably need to do a sense check of each individual and score them individually to see how technically competent they each are, actually. Okay.
So maybe just on the basis of time, that's not something we'll do now, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just for you to have a think about it. So tell me a little bit more about the current situation, the reality of it. How much do they use technology, etc.?
Probably individually, they all have a really good understanding of technology in its simplest form, if you like. So they use various different computers, iPads, pads, tablets, for some of them for their own work, some of them personally. So they'd be competent with the concept and definitely very capable in dealing with the apps, etc. It's where they probably don't know what they don't know. So some people in the team actively go out and looking at apps and looking at what learning looks like for the future, and some people are busy with delivery and don't have the time necessarily to do that, or have the software to do that potentially. So there's a little bit of education, I think, that needs across the board just to get everybody to a baseline level. But I think there's definitely there's a solid base there of people use it in their own personal life, regardless of using it in a work situation. So it's probably a bit of education around about how do you use some of these great tools that you use in your personal life in the work environment, especially in a learning and development environment.
Can I just play that back to you and check that I'm understanding? So you're saying there's a range of experience, there's a range of, my phrase, not yours I think, but exposure to that technology?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a sense of, you use the phrase, maybe not knowing what they don't know?
Yeah.
And what about your customers? What's the driving or the market situation? What's the reality there?
More and more our customers want more innovative and scalable solutions. Yep. So they would like to see, I think, us demonstrate something different. I think they want to see some, they are in the digital market themselves, you know, they use these tools every day. They want to be seeing that back in the workplace and seeing how they can make it better, faster, just-in-time learning for their people. And that is the right thing, absolutely the right thing to do. We've got we've got a lot of graduates coming through our own organisation and through other organisations where that is the way they learn, that's the way they capture learning, that is the way that they can be on a train and doing bite-sized pieces of learning. So more and more of customers are going to be looking for this. And I want to be doing that for them. We should be going and showcasing this for the customer and not waiting for the customer to ask. Yeah. So we can be giving different solutions to people across a broad range of industry sectors that will make it faster, better and more effective for the workplace. So yeah, I think that's where the customers are at. Until you show them, then that's when they'll be able to say, actually, wow, that's something kind of wonderful.
So I'm hearing from your customers also there's that awareness of technology, use of technology, the desire to have it incorporated.
And most HR managers, directors will be saying that they want to be seeing something that's that in the workplace, because they want to be a bit more cutting edge and a bit more creative with what they're giving the people, and making it easy, accessible and easy for them, because that's what makes learning stick. So that would be where I think a lot of our customers are at that place at the minute, but not quite know which direction to take. And so we could be educating and helping them in that direction. So
does that discussion about where you're currently at with the situation, does that inform what you want out of this short conversation more? Or?
It does a little bit, because now my head's thinking in a different space. I'm thinking we need to be looking at those different directions. We need to be benchmarking ourselves with the industry sectors that we work with, and then getting ourselves ready for that, because we need to be, going to 2014, this is the time to get our people up to speed and ready, because we'll be implementing some of these changes throughout 2014 and beyond. So what actions do I need to take in the last quarter and into the next quarter to make sure that people are comfortable, the L&D consultants are comfortable with this technology and with showcasing it with customers, that they need to be in that place. So yes, it's a readiness thing.
So is that about you being ready to enable your team to become capable?
And having, just putting in some educated bite-sized chunks for us to be more used to it and engaging them in that process. So putting in some, it's a timepiece between now and the end of the year with the people and with the right technologies coming together.
So what does that look like for you? Is that a timeline, a plan for yourself? Is that some principles? Is that some top tips?
I think that you've summarised that really well. So there's a plan. First thing that has to be the plan. Then there's the what has to be done within that time scale, and how do we get to that time scale as readiness for 2014. The principles round about it, absolutely. We need to define those principles and policies, and then we need to find where the gaps are. So some people will take that journey quicker than others. So for me it's about the individual plan. So there's a long-term strategy, and then the individual plan that will help people get there.
That's a lot for 15 minutes. If we look at having a plan, is that a useful goal for this time?
Yeah, that'd be useful. That's where I really need to focus. Planning's not.
Okay. So how are you with planning and building a plan and a development plan at the moment? What's your capability like?
It's perfect time. Perfect time at the minute, because we're just looking at personal development planning. So the team have some time to think about where they want to go with their career. So it's great to encompass it into that, because it's something that we all need to do. And it's perfect because none of those discussions have started yet. So I can have the overall plan, which is for everyone, and the individual plan through the PDD process. Which, that would work really well actually with the timescales currently. Really well.
And are there key clear points in the future as part of a plan for you?
At the minute, there's just that overall we need to be well versed in technology and apps and different learning activities. So I've not got it's not clearly defined really in my head about what the milestones look like. So my long-term milestone, my long-term goal, absolutely. But these steps to get there, not clearly defined yet.
Would that be useful for you, or to have more steps along the way?
I think they're going to be governed by the individual conversations.
Okay.
So I think the steps along the way are going to be different depending on the individuals.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, I think.
So lots of steps governed by the individual people,
yeah,
steered, etc. So
yeah,
harder for you to have a clear.
Until the conversations happen, right. I think my key milestone is a readiness piece for 2014.
Mm.
The steps to get there are going to be pretty different depending on different individuals, I think. So I think I'm having a long-term plan, and then the steps behind that are going to be defined as I have those conversations during September.
So I'm hearing bits about that almost challenge your original goal. One about you being clear on your goal, on your long-term plan, and also an area of actually being flexible to work with your team and work out what comes out of their individual conversations and how you incorporate them into the plan. Yeah,
I think that's it. That's the key, isn't it? It's about, we have a long-term plan. How we get there is going to be governed by technical ability and skill, which is different across individuals.
Yeah.
What's made me thinking a bit more about getting to that long-term plan is how individuals can work together, and as maybe some coaching on some of those skills, because obviously we'll have some people that are further down the line than others. So I could start to look at that in terms of how does that incorporate us getting to the goal, how does that help us to get to the goal by not just by using other people to help that process that have got better skills.
And what options have you got available to you to clarify your own long-term plan and the options for working with those individuals?
What options I've got? Okay. Obviously the biggest option I've got at the minute is having the personal development planning discussions.
Right, okay.
So that's a great, it helps us just put a stake in the ground and benchmark where we are as individuals and as collectively as a team.
Yeah.
Obviously during those discussions some technical expertise will come out of that, and how we apply some of that technical expertise across the team. So I'm just thinking some of the options we might have is to get the team together to do a sort of a baseline where we are and get everybody up to the same level, same language, and then see how we take it from there in terms of maybe more one-to-one coaching with some individuals, and maybe more group coaching with others. So some interactive learning where we can all teach each other what we know as a group. Okay. So that could be another great option. And also about setting mini projects maybe and exploring some of the creative solutions that may be out there, and then bringing it back and feeding it through the team at team meetings, etc. So yeah, there's a number of different options about how to approach.
Let me play those back to you if I can. Just so, first of all, the key option for you is utilising your professional development discussion time.
Yeah.
Within that, looking at asking them their own technical capability. Incorporating a range of development activities which are either for individuals or for groups. And then using maybe the idea of mini projects to get people working on things, to share knowledge and expertise.
That's absolutely defines. That's what I said then.
Anything else stand out for you in terms of being, a useful option for clarifying your own position and where you want it to be?
I think keeping people in sight of the goal in terms of where we want to be by the end of 2013 and where we're going. So that might really help just to clarify it, making sure it's clear in everyone's head and across the business. So that's where we're going, that's where we want to be, and ensuring that we're celebrating the mini success piece along the way, because that's really important for us. As you grow and develop and you educate, people will be learning new skills. So So I think we should be making sure that the rest of the business know about that.
Yeah.
And we are publicising it so that when we get to 2014, we're ready.
Okay. So it sounds like, I mean, we came in and you wanted to talk about this broad theme of technical capability, my phrase, not yours, and then how to for yourself have a clear plan and how to involve your people in developing that plan. We looked at some options of how you can develop your people along the way. I'm thinking, as we draw this conversation to a close, are there specific takeaways or actions or things you need to do?
Yes, very specific. I think it's communicate.
Right.
Communicate where we want to be for the 2014 and for the rest of the year. Planning, the PDDs are planned in, so planning that as part of the discussion for each individual. It's really key. And then set up time. I think that's the biggest barrier probably for every individual and for businesses is time. So setting aside that time to self-invest and to make sure that there's an education going on around about where we're going and what are the gaps, because that can sometimes be the thing that's missing because people just don't get the time to do that piece. Yeah. So planning in some time with me and with individuals' diaries to make sure the time is there. And yeah, I think that's probably the biggest three things.
Communicate, plan and time.
Yeah.
And again, they
simple things, but when you put them together like that, that's what I definitely need to do.
I mean, if we had more time, we could drill down and look at being quite specific on communicating what to who, to when, etc. But they sound more like general principles for you to adopt.
Yeah, I think they are actually. I think it is the communication piece that's really important about where we're going.
Okay.
And there is a feel for it where we're going, but there's maybe not that sort of we're out there, that the boldness of where we need to be.
Okay. So around this topic of building your team's capability and the technical development, is there anything else that you think would be useful to discuss?
I don't think so. I think we need a bit of I need to do a bit of research in terms of these discussions about where people are, and then that might change as those discussions come to fruition. So that might change as the course of the next few months develops. So yeah, I think that's really helped.
Okay. Well, that's my final question, really, Nicola. Has this been a useful conversation for you?
Very useful. Really useful. Just that 15 minutes of just talk about it. It's a big topic, but just to clarify some of the actions that need to be done. That's really helped. Really spot on.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And have a good day.
You too.